not able to come in today, but hopefully I'll be posting future videos with him involved. I know we had a lot of laughs last time. He was chewing up just about everything in this room. So today I got some tips from you guys, some comments that there were some requests for more Pilates-based movements, a little more core work, maybe a little more challenging, and also a few of you asked for a little less standing. So trying to field those requests and give you guys all the things that you're looking to do, the ways you want to move your body. So we are going to get started. I am trying to use props that we would be able to find at home. So if you have water bottles, if you have blocks, then you can use blocks as well. But trying to be creative here in what we can use. So if you can find two identical objects that you can use, go ahead and find them. And we're going to start actually laying on down. So find a comfortable position. We're going to lay on down. And once you've found that comfortable position, close your eyes. Start to really soften all of the muscles. Visualizing that softness from the tips of the toes all the way through those legs, from the tips of the fingers all the way through those arms, letting the hips melt open, making sure those shoulder blades are sinking away from the ears, softening the eyebrows, the jaw, the tongue, and starting to breathe nice and deep. Every inhale, filling the belly, filling the chest. And every exhale, letting it last twice as long as your inhale. One more breath. Good. Keep those eyes closed. Gently start to rock that head from side to side. Maybe gently tucking the chin in towards the chest. Sweeping the chin over the chest. Trying to center yourself in this present moment. Letting yourself enjoy these next 45 minutes. Letting this be for you and only you. Returning to center in stillness. As I challenged you guys yesterday, I would like you guys to try to keep those eyes closed for as long as you can. Follow my vocal cues. Listen to your body and its needs. On your next inhale, drag the right knee in towards the belly and the chest, and we're going to interlace behind the knee. Once you've gotten that grip, make sure the shoulders aren't crunching up towards the ears. Drop them down and back. Lengthen through the back of the neck by tucking in that chin gently. And when you're ready, we're going to start to pull that leg, bringing the thigh closer in towards the belly. Creating a nice compression between the thigh and the belly. Now from here, getting a little more energized into both of those toes, I want you to point through both of those toes. And on your next inhale, see how far you can extend. Maybe there's still a slight bend in that knee, that's okay. Or maybe you can extend fully. Try not to release that grip. Keep the thigh pulling in, lengthen nice and long through the tips of the toes. On your next exhale, bend the knee, relax. Keeping that thigh pulling in towards the belly and the chest. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rest. One more time. Good. Gently release that leg all the way down to the mat. And same thing on that left side. Inhale, left knee in, interlace behind the knee. Shoulders dropping down and back. Maybe tucking that chin in gently. And on your next exhale, start to pull that thigh in towards the belly and the chest, creating a nice compression here, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, no crunching in that neck. On your next inhale, extend that leg. Again, maybe keeping a bend there. If you already feel that nice big stretch in the backs of the legs, stay here. Or continue. Try to get as straight as you can. Maybe feeling those legs start to shake. And on your next exhale, bend, release that tension. Still pulling that thigh in towards the belly. Inhale, extend. Reach through those toes. Exhale, bend. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. One more time. Good. Release that leg all the way on down. When you're ready, on your next inhale, your right ankle is going to cross over the left ankle and slide both of the ankles to the left side of the mat. If you don't have a mat, just bring it over to the left side. Inhale those arms up overhead. We're going to bring the left hand to ground the right wrist. Rest those arms on the ground above you. And then we're going to start to pull ourselves into a side bend, pulling with that left arm, same thing to the left side. Ribs are pushing to the right. Making sure both shoulder blades, both hips are in contact with the mat. Every inhale, get a little longer, reaching through the fingers and the toes. Every exhale, try to release, relax. Good. Gently return to center. Drop the arms. Unravel those ankles. Take an inhale at center. Then when you're ready, left ankle over right. Bring those ankles to the right side of the mat, or just to the right side if you don't have a mat at home. Bring those arms overhead. This time right hand is going to grab the left wrist. Rest those arms on the ground above you and start to pull yourself this time to the right side. Keep the shoulders flush, the hips flush. Reaching the fingers and the toes to the right, pushing the ribs to the left. Good. Gently come back to center. Release those arms. Unravel those legs. Good. On your next inhale, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, knees laid out to the side. It's still the beginning of class, so nothing too crazy here. If there's a little too much tension in the hips, bring the heels a little further away from the groin. Let those knees open up. Let the hips open. Take a couple breaths. Good. If you have enough space to bring those arms into a nice big T, if you don't have quite enough space, you can bring those arms into goalpost arms. Press the backs of the hands against the ground. Now from here, we're going to lift the left leg up and over to the right leg, coming into a twist to the right side. Those shoulders are going to stay glued against the ground. Then on our next inhale, open back up to that butterfly position. Soles of the feet together, knees laid out to the side. Right knee comes up and over to the left side, sink into that twist. Shoulders stay flush, open back up to that butterfly pose. Moving at your own pace, nice, slow, deliberate movements. Keep moving between these three postures. Letting that breath flow. Pressing down and back through those shoulder blades, making sure there's no tension in the neck. Good. One more time each side. Maybe hearing some snap, crackle, pops in that back. Try to get a nice big release. And returning back to center in that butterfly position. On your next inhale, engage those inner thighs, draw the knees together, and then bring them on into the belly and the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug here, maybe rocking side to side, front to back, or create little circles on the spine. And then returning to stillness. Drop those legs all the way down. All right, so we're going to grab onto one of those props that you decided to get. I'm using a water bottle today as my prop. Now, for those of you who have taken Pilates, I'm replacing this water bottle with a ring. It's going to be a little funky, but it's a similar idea. Trying to hold onto that water bottle, nice straight arms, and a gentle pressure inwards. We want to push in on that bottle to engage our arm muscles. Extending those legs nice and long. On my inhale, I'm going to bring the arms up overhead, squeezing in on that water bottle. And on my exhale, drive the right knee into the belly and the chest, and lift the heart straight to the ceiling. We're trying not to crunch here. We want the heart to lift, fingers to lift. Then slowly return, leg down, arms down. Exhale, left knee, come on up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Good. If you'd like to make this a little more difficult for yourself, you can choose to keep the legs hover the entire time. Inhaling, exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lift the heart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Good. Keep on moving. Build up that sweat. Squeeze in on that water bottle. One more time each side. Good. Rest all the way down. Release that bottle to the side. Now that I think of it, it's probably best that you don't have a soda bottle in hand, or any carbonated drink, because it might explode after everything we're about to do today. So, settle on in. Try to get control of that breath again. One more breath. Good. On your next inhale, no water bottle in hand. Reach, lengthen, and exhale, forcefully sit yourself on up. Sitting up nice and tall, pressing through those heels, nice active toes, reaching up towards the ceiling. And try to pretend you're like a puppet on a string. Get nice and tall, shoulders away from the ears. Hinging at the hips, try to lift the heart up and forward. This is going to be a very subtle bend here. Once you begin to round into that spine, bring yourself back up, straighten up nice and tall. One more breath. Good, now continue that fold. Let the back begin to round slightly, still leading through the heart, keeping the gaze lifted until you reach that furthest spot, then drop the head and the neck. Keep pushing through those heels, toes reaching towards the ceiling. And then we're going to grab onto the shins, the ankles, the feet, the toes, anything you can get a grip on. Driving through those heels. And maybe choosing to rock slightly from side to side. Start to feel how it starts to pull in different spots of that lower back. One more breath. Good, back on up. All right, we're going to prepare for boat pose. I'll give a couple modifications here and build ourselves on up. As I always say in my classes, if you're somewhere and the next step is a little bit too much, just do the thing that we did before. Listen to your body, but try to challenge yourself today. So, bend those knees, feet coming flat to the mat. When you're ready, start to pull the knees into the chest, tip the weight back, lift the feet, push through the heels. Now, first option here, the modification is keeping the knees bent. So we're going to switch our hands just onto the right knee, extend the left leg, still hovering off the ground. Making sure not to round the back, keep the heart lifting up and forward. Then we're going to do a quick switch here. Kick, switch. Kick, switch. Kick, switch. Kick, switch. Good. If you'd like to make this a little more challenging for yourself, start back in your boat pose. Squeeze, bring those calves parallel to the ground. Same idea here. Hold, lengthen. Keep that top calf parallel, chest lifting. And switch. 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 All right, a little more challenging than that. See if you can extend those legs fully, completely straight. Again, not rounding and collapsing into the chest. Keep the chest lifting up and forward. We're going to hold wherever is comfortable. Separate those legs and switch. Keep that balance, squeezing the core. Whichever of those three you want to do, make sure you're moving. Keep on breathing. Good. One more time each side. Wherever you are. Good. Then bend those knees and hug those knees on in. Drop the head. Catch that breath. Beautiful. From here, we're going to do this similar stretch, but bring the feet a little further, a little less of a bend in those knees. Sink the heart all the way down to those thighs, get nice and cozy, and then we're going to hug around underneath. If you judge how deep you want to go here, but if you can, reach, see if you can grab onto the opposite elbow. Hug those thighs in, and then we're going to tuck that chin all the way in, dip the forehead down to those knees. Feel a nice big stretch in the upper back and the neck, maybe even in the lower back. One more breath. Excellent. Release those arms, roll on up. We're going to flip on over to a tabletop position. Knees are hip width, hands are shoulder width. Spread out those fingers nice and wide. On your inhale, belly comes down, chin up, tailbone up, squeeze. Exhale, round on down, tucking that chin, separate the shoulders. Inhale, pull the palms to the knees, thread the heart through. Exhale, press the fingers to the top of the mat, round and tuck. If you'd like to incorporate those feet, you can tuck the toes on your inhale. Exhale, flip to the tops of the feet, round. Keep moving at your own pace. Try to accentuate all of the ways those joints can move. 2 more rounds. Excellent. Come to a nice neutral spine. We're going to bring those big toes together. Knees nice and wide. Push the hips all the way back to those heels. And then gently, slowly let the heart sink. If your head can't quite come to the floor, get a little pillow, a blanket, anything. Rest that forehead. Trying to find complete relaxation in this child's pose. No tension in the shoulders. Maybe rocking that forehead from side to side. One more breath. Good. Press on up, back into that tabletop position. All right, so we are going to grab one of those bottles again. So this next one is funky. I am again going to show modifications first and build from there. If at any point you're uncomfortable, especially in the shoulder area, just do the exercise we're doing before that. So we're going to start here, down on our forearms. Elbows are going to be stacked. Palms face down. Forearms are parallel. And bring the bottle on one side of your body. Good. We're going to tuck those toes. If you have socks on like me, you might want to take them off. Get a little more grip. And we're going to come into a forearm plank. Give me one breath here. Good. First modification, we're going to bring the right knee down, tuck it at a 45-degree angle for some stability. Press, open up, take that water bottle, reach it up towards the sky. Good. Pivoting, open those hips to the side. And then we're going to thread it on through underneath, roll it to the other side. Place the left hand down, tuck the left toes, come back to your forearm plank. Left knee, parallel across, reach, grab the water bottle, open up those hips and those shoulders to the side, and then come on down, thread on through, try not to let it escape you, right hand down, right toes under, lift back to your plank. Good. Next, step up. We're going to not drop those knees down. Keep yourself in your forearm plank. Tip onto the sides of the feet. Keep the hips lifting up. Grab onto that water bottle. Open on up. Good. Thread on through underneath to the other side. Left forearm down. Back onto those toes and other side. Tip onto the sides of the feet. Grab that water bottle. Make sure the shoulder is stacked over that elbow. Thread it on through. Back on down. Next step up. Coming up into our full plank here. If you feel comfortable, those shoulders feel good, we're going to tip onto the outside or inside of those feet. Shift the weight all into the right hand. Grab that water bottle, open on up, nice and wide. Keep the hips pressing up nice and high as we rotate back to plank. Good, other side, tip. Open, thread on through. Make sure as you're watching this and I'm giving you the modifications, you're moving the whole time, moving and grooving. If you get tired, drop on down to those forearms. Good. Keep on moving. One more time each side. Good. Once you come back into your plank, everyone's going to drop to both of those knees. Push on back. Rest in your child's pose. Good. Maybe wiggle those fingers, roll the wrist in your child's pose. Try to open everything up. Slow down that breathing. Slow down the heart rate. Slow down your mind. One more breath. Excellent. Rise on up. We're going to flip on over. All right. Now that our shoulders should be nice and warm from that last one, This next one is very tricky. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna take a lot of strength, a lot of shoulders, a lot of core. If your butt keeps hitting the ground through this next flow, don't get frustrated. It takes years of practice, years of stability. Just be patient with yourself. Have some fun with it. All right, so feet are going to be about hip width apart in front of you, knees bent. Our hands are going to come to our sides, and you can rotate however you would like, however feels comfortable for you. I personally like to open up my chest a little bit further, so I point my fingers a little bit to the outside to externally rotate those shoulders. All right, when you're ready, press into those hands at your sides, push into the heels, lift the hips up to a reverse plank or a crab walk, whatever you'd like to call it. Now, we're going to extend, push the hips, try to keep them hovering, really push through those hands, try to thread it on through, see if you can keep the hips lifted. If you can't, drop on down, that's fine. Whether your hips are lifted or on the ground, we're going to slide them back on through, up to that crab walk. Good. Thread on through, see if you can keep them lifted this time. Press and lift. Good. Have some fun with it. Don't get frustrated. This one is very tricky. Try it 2 more times at your own pace. Good. Drop those hips on down. Hug those knees in. Take a rest. One more breath. Beautiful. Right, line up. We're going to flip on over again. For those of you who are new to wellness classes, you might be a little out of breath as I am. I always like to have new, fresh faces in my classes because I love to show them that your butt can still get kicked in wellness classes, sometimes even more so than any other class. All right, when you're ready, starting in a tabletop, then walking the hands up a little bit higher on the mat, still shoulders apart. On your next inhale, sink the hips forward to a nice flat back. Arms are strong, making sure the hips aren't sinking down or sticking too far up. Nice and flat, feel the burn in those arms. Now we're going to pulse 3 times. I don't want the elbows coming out to the sides. Keep those chicken wings tucked in towards the side. Little pulses here. Bend, 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 bend. One more. Good. Now this last time we're going to lower all the way down to the ground. Excellent. Hands stay where they are. Keep those chicken wings in. On your inhale, start to lift through the heart. Don't push through the hands yet. You can even hover them right off the ground. Now from here, drop the hands. Continue your journey up. No elbows out. Keep the chicken wings in. Keep the collarbone open. Shoulders not rolling forward. You can either pause here with a bent elbow or continue on up to a deeper back bend, straighter arms, pressing into the tops of the feet, tucking in that lower belly, those lower ribs to stabilize the low back. Good. On your next inhale, look over the left shoulder. Exhale back to center. Inhale over the right shoulder. Exhale back to center, nice and slow. Keep the collarbone open, pour the heart forward, come on down. And we're going to make a little pillow for ourselves. If you actually have a pillow at home, use the pillow. Take a few breaths here. Notice the differences in our breath, comparing it to when we were on our back at the beginning of class, to now being on our tummy. Feeling how the belly presses into the ground, how if you breathe deep enough, the lower back begins to rise. One more breath. Excellent. I'm going to keep
So for this next one, how our arms are going to come are into goalpost arms. But I want to accentuate this position a little bit further. So if my hands were your shoulder blades, I want your shoulder blades to come in, under, and a little bit up. A little swooping, scooping motion. So to demonstrate with my own, I'm starting kind of loose, then I'm tucking down, in, under, squeeze. Almost creating a W with my arms. Releasing. Down, under, scoop, squeeze. All right, we're going to perform this on our bellies. So remove that pillow when you're ready. Bring those arms into goalpost arms. We're going to inhale, press into the tops of the feet. Start to lift through the chest. You'll start to feel the lower back, the middle back begin to work. Then we're going to lift those arms and do that scooping squeeze. Squeeze and lift further. Make sure to breathe. And release on down. Again, on your inhale, a little bit quicker. We're coming on up. Squeeze. And down. This is using all of your back muscles. Exhale, squeeze. And down. 2 more times. Two more times. Good. Excellent. Make that little pillow for yourself again. Take a couple breaths. Slowing down that breathing. If you're noticing any tightness sensations in the back, especially in the lower back, for locust poses, that's actually kind of normal because we don't usually use those lower back muscles. There should not be any sharp pains though. If there is, then you can continue just practicing those little cobras as we go on to this next one. All right, one more round of these back crushers. This time, we're not going to do that little shoulder scoop. I want you to imagine a crunch, but instead of a crunch where you're coming in with the elbows, I want the elbows to be opening back and up. So, lift from your pillow, fingertips grazing near the ears. We're going to inhale, press into the tops of the feet, lengthen, lift. Then I want you to diagonal crunch, back to center, come down. Good. Inhale, lift, diagonal crunch, and down. Good. Make sure you're putting no pressure on the head or the neck. 3 more times each side. Make sure you're breathing. 2 more times. Good. Make that little pillow for yourself again. Take a couple breaths here. Letting those back muscles rest and release. One more breath. Excellent. We're going to bring that left arm out, shoulder height, not too far behind or ahead, shoulder height. Right hand is going to come up on your fingertips, also shoulder height. The elbow is going to be flailing out to the right side. Good. Let that left shoulder dip on down to the mat. Get nice and into that mat. Turn. Peek over that right shoulder. Begin to really press through that right hand as much as the left part of the chest can handle it. If you already feel a nice big stretch, just stay here. Focus on opening up that chest even further. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can bend the right knee, start to tip the hips on over, and maybe see if you can find the floor with the foot. You might feel a nice low back release here. Again, only going so far that the left shoulder and chest can handle. If you'd like to take it a little bit further, you can reach that right hand up towards the ceiling. keeping the core squeezing and engaged. Last step, if you'd like to go even further, you can bring that hand behind the spine, right to that low back, and really roll open that right shoulder. Open up that chest as much as it will go. You can even assist with that right leg, pressing open. Give me one more breath. Good, nice and slow, release the hand first, bring it on over, then tighten the core, rock the hips, drop that leg on down. Good. Other side. I have to scooch over to get enough room. All right, right arm is extended, shoulder height. Left hand, fingertips, elbow out to the side. Either just dropping that right shoulder, peeking over that left shoulder and pressing through the fingers, or if you want to go deeper, bend the left knee, kick it on back and over. Open up the whole chest, the hips. Good. Maybe reaching that left hand up towards the ceiling. Maybe tucking it behind the back and making sure not to roll forward. Open up that left shoulder. Maybe even kicking back with the left knee. Open up all parts. Only so far that the right shoulder and right chest can handle it. Good, hand comes down first. Tip those hips on over. Keep the core tight and come back. Make that little pillow for yourself. Take a couple breaths. Excellent. On your next inhale, bring those hands to the chest. Press into the tops of the feet. Lift through the heart first while lifting the hands. Then drop the hands, lift, lengthen. You can either keep a bend or keep it straight. And on your next exhale, push into the tops of the thighs. Press on back. Sink into your child's pose. Get a nice big stretch in that back. One more breath. Excellent. And come on. All right, we're going to come back into that tabletop position. Knees are hip width, hands are shoulder width. Tuck those toes under, lift the knees, hover, just a hair, nice flat back. Then we're going to push the hips high and far back, press through the palms, through the fingertips. Lengthen nice and long from fingertips to the base of the tailbone. Bending the knees as deeply as you need to in this downward facing dog. One more breath in stillness. Then start to pedal it on out, bending one knee at a time, keeping your gaze towards the feet so your neck is soft. Maybe even sinking the hips from side to side. Get a little creative here. One more breath. Good. Take a break for a second. Take a child's pose. Wiggle those fingers, roll the wrists, get the blood flowing. Excellent. Rise on up. All right, this next one is going to be a doozy, I'm not going to lie. It takes a lot of core, a lot of shoulder. So if you just stay in downward facing dog, it's still using the same muscles, accomplishing the same goals. The rest of it is just a little balance, a little extra. So take it at your own pace. We're all going to start in that downward facing dog. Good. Now, if you need to, you can also opt to drop to those forearms, elbows under shoulders, but make sure we're not in a plank here. We want to push the heart towards the feet into dolphin pose. Adjusting as necessary, maybe wiggling those toes back. So either downward facing dog or dolphin. I'll start in dolphin to provide the easier modification. So for here, if you're feeling confident in those shoulders, you can shift the weight into the right arm
See if you can lift up onto the left fingertips. Maybe this is where you stay. If you'd like to go a little bit further, maybe creep the hand a little further back. Remember, we're not in a plank here, we're pushing the heart to the feet. Maybe lifting, reaching back anywhere on the left leg. Now a lot of pressure is going to be on that right shoulder. Try to shift the weight into the left foot. Maybe see if you can pick up that right foot. Lots of balance here, lots of challenge. You might fall out of it. Now for those of you who want to try it in downward facing dog, same cueing here. I'll try it on the other side. Shifting the weight into the left arm, bringing the right hand back or maybe onto the fingertips. Then from here, see if you can lift that other leg. Toes face down, pressing, lengthening. Good. Test it out on each side. Take a couple tries. Just try to save life here. Have some fun. Challenge yourself. You might surprise yourself. And if you're getting frustrated on one side, on one shoulder, try it on the other side. Oftentimes, one side will be stronger and more balanced than the other. So try a couple times. Make sure you're still breathing. Sometimes when we get so concentrated on these postures, we forget to breathe. We get very red in the face, as I am, but I always am. Take a couple more tries, couple more breaths. Keep trying to balance either dolphin pose or downward facing dog. One more breath. Then everyone meeting in downward facing dog or dolphin. And we're going to all drop to our knees. Press back to a child's pose. Resting those arms. Give yourself a pat on the back. Maybe you tried something new today. Push yourself past what you thought were your limitations. Maybe you have a dog, as I did yesterday, that was getting all up in your face, making it a little difficult to find balance. And once you feel that that breath has finally slowed on down, try to be a little more mindful of this child's pose. So that head on a pillow or on a mat, Fingers are going to start to grip into the ground. Lift the forearms away from the mat. And then start to push the fingers, pushing the hips towards the heels further and starting to lift the head. If it's not comfortable to lift the head, you can keep it on a pillow. Good. Resting that forehead and those forearms back down. We're going to tiptoe those hands over to the left side of the mat. If you don't have a mat, just a little over to the left side. Our hips are not moving. We're still pushing the hips back towards the heels. Forehead resting down. Seeing a little bit of a side bend stretch on that right side. One more breath. Good. Tiptoe those hands over center. And then all the way over to the right side. Resting that forehead, pushing the hips back towards the heels. Pressing the ribs to the left. One more breath. Excellent. Tiptoe those hands back towards center. Nice and slow. Lift on up. Good. We're going to flip on over. Bringing yourself into a nice, comfortable, seated position.
finding some comfort here. If it's not quite comfortable to sit cross-legged, sit any which way that feels most comfortable. Maybe even sitting on your couch, just make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Shoulders sinking away from the ears. With every inhale, feeling that string, that puppet string, getting yourself a little taller, pressing through those hips. Taking a few deep breaths, settling yourself from this practice, expressing some gratitude to yourself for still making this time for you, feeling grateful for all the ways your body can move and grow and adapt, feeling grateful for your health, and for your mind's ability to push you even just one breath deeper, one breath further into these postures. And for your mind's ability to create mindfulness, the bubble around you, keeping the outside world from infiltrating. When you're ready, we're going to open up those eyes. I'd like to show you guys a nice breathing exercise. If you're at home, you might actually want to grab a tissue. It has a tendency to really clear out those sinuses. It can get a little funky, a little messy. Make sure you have some hand sanitizer as well with you so we're not spreading those germs around. I'll come a little closer to the camera for this pranayama. So, what we are going to do, I'm a mess here. We are going to take our thumb, place it on one nostril. These three fingers, actually two fingers, these two fingers are going to come onto the temple right here, right in the bridge of the nose. And we're going to take these other two fingers and bring them on the other nostril. Not pressing yet, otherwise you'd be suffocating. So, we're going to push the thumb into the right nostril, lift the other two fingers. Breathe in through the left nostril. Then on your exhale, switch the fingers. Thumb lifts, other two fingers down. Exhale through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Switch, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Switch, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Switch, exhale through the left. Good. It looks a little silly here, but as you can probably already see, it starts to clear things up in the sinuses. Can feel especially good during a season full of allergies. So maybe practice that once a day for a couple minutes. Remember those tissues and those hand sanitizers. And I would like to say that I'm very grateful to be able to practice with you still. I miss all of my clients. I miss the energy here. I miss my family. And thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive.